welcome back to the Film Reelcast. I'm Stuart, your host. This week we're going to look at episode 3 of WandaVision. It's that time of the week again. But before we do that, just a reminder for you guys to check out my playlist. There's the S.W.O.R.D, there's the Mandalorian, there's Cobra Kai. There's a couple of individual reviews that I've done just during this boring lockdown of what's available on Netflix. There's another one coming soon of Caliber, which is a film I found purely by chance that I totally recommend. So that will be coming within the next couple of days, probably the next day, for you to check out. Just look at that and subscribe as well. Okay, let's look at episode 3. Right, for those who have seen the forums, those who have watched my previous episodes, there's been a lot of mixed reviews about what they expected when they watched episode 1 and 2. And from episode 1, I made it no secret that I didn't really enjoy it. It was quite laborious. It was very monotonous with regards to the slapstick situational comedy. I found it hard going. And the reason being, as I explained, especially in number 2, that I wanted to be challenged. I like watching something when you ask the questions, when it makes you ask questions of why this is happening, where this is going, who different people are working for, and what their motives are. That's what I want when I watch something like this. And 1 just didn't have it. But 2, it started to progress. You got the voices on the radio, you got the cut hand in colour. Why was it in colour? And you also got the helicopter as well and the hedge with the S.W.O.R.D motif on there. And in the end, you got the guy coming up with the S.W.O.R.D logo on his back wearing the beekeeper's outfit. Now, these are the things which made you question what universe it is. And I guess my suggestion is that this is in Wanda's mind, whether she's been drugged, hallucinating, or it's the only way she can bring Vision back is to create this kind of world in the 1950s of Westview where they live, where they can be a happy couple together. Because has he died? Has he not come back from being killed by Thanos in Infinity War? So that's my suggestion. That's why she controls things, where she can turn back time and rewind different scenarios that she's not happy with. Like she did when the beekeeper came up from the ground. That it, obviously a threat. You could see the look on her face as to why this was. And she turned the clocks back and rewound it to a happier kind of scenario. And it ended with her being pregnant. And that's the main theme. And we also get Geraldine, who's Monica Rambeau, of her role in this and a possible scenario of why it plays out as it does. So this is going to contain spoilers. It's going to be a very quick review, quick discussion, but it will contain spoilers of what happens. So if you've not seen episode 3 yet, I don't usually recommend it, but I recommend to stop watching this, watch the episode and come back and to see if you've got the same ideas of what I had as to the way it's going and why certain things happened. Okay, let's get on with episode 3 of WandaVision. So I love the happy feel and start to this. It's really kind of like the Brady Bunch. When you get all of the characters together in really happy kind of circumstances, they're all waving, they're all just so happy. And I love the sets and I love the style, the clothing in this. It's brilliant. Where they get these kind of props from. There's a warehouse of loads of 50s clothing, like the cars, the signage, just mainly the clothing as well. It's absolutely brilliant. And being in colour, you really get to experience that full 50s feeling of everyone actually in this world together. It's really, really nice intro. So the first time we notice that something is strange in this is when Vision goes out and he sees Herb in the front garden cutting the hedge. And as he's talking to him, he continues to cut through the hedge into the wall and continues cutting the wall. And even when Vision points out that he's cutting into the wall, he has no expression on his face. I mean, just look at this.
Hey, Herb! Think you might have taken the hedge trimming a little too far there, old chum.
So I have. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, don't mention it.
I think the reason he has this reaction is because Vision is obviously the main character, the main focus for Wanda, of why this world's been created. And Herb could be a possible extra in this world, and at that time not controlled entirely by Wanda of what he's doing, which is why he's just continually cutting through that wall and not actually reacting to it. And which is why Vision is reacting, it's something strange happening, but Herb isn't, because at that time he's not being controlled fully by Wanda. That's what I think. Let me know what you think but that's what I think. Remember, if you haven't seen Life on Mars, a BBC drama, where a guy gets in an accident, he's in a coma, and it goes back to the 70s of the way they were policing there. And there were lots of kind of Easter eggs, lots of hints from the outside world of what was happening. And he was questioning where he is. And this really has that same feeling to it, that you get these people from the outside world coming into it, trying to pull either Vision out or trying to pull Wanda out of what's actually happened in this kind of 50s Westview life universe that they've built up. And a lot of this focuses on the pregnancy of Wanda. Obviously, normal people, poor women, have to go through 9 months of pain, agony, carrying the heavy lump around for 9 months in the cold or in the heat, not looking particularly fashionable either. But Wanda has the luxury of having probably the whole 9 months wrapped up in about 12 hours. And they call the doctor over and they're asking some very bizarre questions, such as how big will the baby be when it gets to 3 months, when it gets to 6 months. And obviously, Wanda's going through this months, a kind of equivalent of hours to her. So you get the impression that neither of them know actually what's happening. And it's when Vision goes out to get the doctor, when the contractions start, that things turn a little bit weird. That Geraldine knocks on the door, and you immediately see, for those who are looking out for Easter eggs, for clues of what people are doing, what their role is in this universe, you can see from around her neck that she's got the silver chain with the sword motif. So that instantly tells you that she's either like an alien in this world, that she doesn't belong there, she's been put in there by someone else, because no one else has got this motif. Was she the one who left the helicopter for her to find in the last episode to try and bring her out? Were these clues that something isn't right? And I'd love to know, if she is an agent from the outside, of how she was able to get into the mind of Wanda. So when Vision leaves the house to go and get the doctor, but due to the contractions, what he's concerned, it's when Geraldine turns up. And that's when things really start to go strange, and you get more and more clues. No, I've done this. So what I do like, and what's really bizarre, is that whilst Geraldine is talking to Wanda, that a stalk keeps appearing in the lounge. And as we know from an old wives' tales that the stalks deliver the baby, they've brought this signal in that the baby's ready to be delivered. And Wanda keeps making it vanish, as you can see from the pictures, but it keeps coming back again. And it really fits in with the kind of 1950s comedy kind of genre of what would have happened, how they possibly would have played it out back in those days. And it's a really funny, really quirky, original idea of the way of showing that the baby is ready to be delivered. So Wanda's water breaks, and Geraldine delivers the first baby. And when Vision comes back with the doctor, he believes that he's missed the delivery of his only son. But obviously, as we know from the comic books, there is another one. And Vision goes into his true form. And it's whilst Vision is comforting son number one that son number two suddenly comes along, to his panic. But number two gets delivered absolutely fine, and they've got 2 lovely baby boys. And we know through history, through the comic books, that these boys are going to be called William and Thomas, and that they will inherit the powers of both their mum and their dad. So the strange keeps coming. Vision goes outside and he sees Agnes and he sees Herb. They're in the front garden, they're talking together. And they start talking about Agnes, about Monica. And they say that she lives alone, that she hasn't got a house. And that they talk to as if she's like a foreigner to this land, to this dream, that she shouldn't be there, that they don't know her, which is really strange. And I don't know whether it's them saying it, or whether it's someone from the outside who's controlling both of these characters, Agnes and Herb, are making them say that to get a message to Vision. But they want to get the message across that Agnes, that Monica, isn't who she says she is. She's not from around here, she doesn't belong, and that she's got a hidden agenda.
There's no family. No husband.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No home.
What?
She came here because... She came here because... She came here because we're all...
She came here because we're all what? What are you trying to tell me?
And it's really interesting that this happens, the way they're saying that. I mean, who's making them say this? Is it from the outside? I honestly don't know, but I find it fascinating that they're trying to tell Vision, I believe they're trying to tell Vision that all of this world is fake. It's like the Truman Show, that they're all extras to cater for what Wanda is trying to create. And I still think she's trying to create a world where she can be happy and live with Vision. Because in real life, the Vision is dead. And this could be shock. I really don't know. But it's great that these people acting like extras, as if trying to get a message across to Vision. That we're all here for the benefit of Wanda. None of this is real. You're not real. And that they're not allowed to say it. Who's telling them that they can't say it? I don't know. And what the threat is and what the risks could be, I really don't know. But it's great that they're that scared that they're trying to tell Vision that everything here isn't real and that I think we're just extras in this world. And from there, you get Wanda inside with the babies. And you've got Geraldine next to her. So Wanda lets on to Geraldine that she is a twin and she had a baby called Pietro.
He was killed by Ultron, wasn't he?
What did you say? What did you say just now?
I said, Wanda, you're such a strong lady. Should I say it one more time for good measure?
And how would she know that? This is the 1950s. This is a world probably created by Wanda. So how would Geraldine know that Pietro was killed by Ultron? And it's then after that that she sees the necklace and questions where she's from. Everything starts to fit together. The guy coming up from the floor, the helicopter found as well. She starts to piece together that things aren't quite right. And you'll notice that Wanda's accent comes back. The accent that she had in the Age of Ultron. The one that's kind of vanished out that people did question and took the piss out of. But she does get that for a split second.
What did you say about Pietro?
Pietro? Hey, I'll take a shift rocking the babies.
No, I think you should leave.
Oh, Wanda, don't be like that.
And then you get something which is absolutely bizarre. Vision comes back into the lounge because he's got concerns about Geraldine. And in that very spooky way that she does, that Wanda says that she had to go, she's left. And then it flicks to Westview in the future of Geraldine, of Monica Rambeau laying on the floor, and she's surrounded by these jeeps that come in. There's a helicopter flying. And you see this big kind of force field around her. And I believe the outside world could be the world created for Wanda. And they're kind of in this dome, this protective dome, controlling everything. Or even trying to pull her out. I really don't know. But why are they surrounding her with guns? If she's an agent of theirs, then they wouldn't do that because they'd recognise her possibly. And they wouldn't need to kind of surround her. So who are these soldiers? Who are they working for? I couldn't see S.W.O.R.D or Hydra. Hydra's obviously been defeated. Or these S.W.O.R.D logos either. So I couldn't see anything. So I don't know where they're coming from. But it's interesting that Wanda has thrown her out of her own world, which proves she's in control of it. And that she managed to put her back into, what, 2020, 2021? I don't know. But I'd love to know your thoughts of what happened and why it happened. And if you think that this is Wanda's world that she's controlling and that she's in some kind of induced coma or how she's doing it. And even if you think Vision is alive or dead. But let me know your thoughts. So for me, it was a really good episode and it made me ask those questions of what's actually happening. And I find that when you start doing that, things really become exciting. Because you're trying to guess of what's going to happen next. More or less I'm wrong, but it does ask you questions, makes you ask questions, which is what you want from any film or TV series. Okay, that was episode 3 of WandaVision. A really bizarre but very interesting episode, and I like that things are starting to move on. So as I say, let me know your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, please leave some feedback, check out my playlist, there's lots and lots of things to watch, and we've got the audio podcast as well. Okay, I'm Stuart, I'm from the Film Reel Cast, and thank you for watching. Stay safe.